Hi everybody, I'm Spike Brave, and today I'd like to give you a look at the Alpine Peak map in Mechwarrior Online. In this video, I'll show you how this map is used in solo play, and some of the place names that players use to refer to grid coordinates. And let's talk about those grid coordinates. As you can see in the center of my screen, I have a little mini-map, and that shows my mech in L10 facing the K11. It's a great way to tell your teammates where you are and what you're seeing, where what you're seeing is. If you'd like to see the entire grid, all you have to do is press B, and that brings up the battle grid screen. And this shows the entire map. And as you can see, there I am in L10 with my little yellow or tan triangle there. And if I was detecting an enemy mech, that would also be shown on this map. And what's really nice about this is it shows you where your friendly units are and any mechs they're detecting. So if you need information about the whole battlefield, you hit this real quick and it'll show you where everything is. So let's start talking about what's important on this map. This is probably the largest map in the game right now, and I'm in L10. This is a starting location, but there's very little stuff that goes on in this portion of the map. Occasionally you'll get a light mech that runs out here to try to get away, so you may see this, but not very common in solo play. Very little of this map is actually used in solo play, so I'm just going to go to those areas. If you're curious about the whole map, I suggest you run out here in the testing grounds and take a look yourself. So first, let's start out here on this hill in I-11. Very rarely, but it does happen frequently enough that I do want to make you aware of it. You'll get a mech with long-range weapons like an ER large laser, Gauss rifle, or an ER PPC that'll come up here and stand on this portion of the hill. So in the I-11 or H-11 area, and they'll snipe into this area or down into this area. As I said, this is kind of rare, but you do see it occasionally. A lot of times when I do see it, it's a ECM, usually a Raven 3L with two large lasers. I don't really recommend that if you want to snipe that you go here to do so. There is some fighting that occurs over into the area into which I'm looking on that hill, or down here in the base, but as you can tell, I'm pretty far away from everything. You'll still be able to hit with those large lasers. They'll be in the maximum range, but usually you won't be doing full damage. So this isn't the best spot in the world to come snipe, but it is used frequently. Or frequently enough that I felt it was important to mention. Something that a lot of people don't know is they usually come up the way I did. If you actually come around the back here, and it'll take me just a moment to get there. As I said, this is a big map, so there'll be a lot of running. Oops. I don't come up here very often, I almost fell off the edge. If I go up and around, I can actually come down into another spot that's kind of by that base area, the little facility down here. So there we go. So occasionally you'll see mechs running up here. If you're playing Conquest, this is actually a good spot to come run and hide. Actually, there's lots of good spots. You don't really need to hide. If you can just outrun them, you'll be fine. So let's talk about this area. In assault mode, this will be a base in this area. There'll be turrets throughout this area. Some of them will be on top of buildings, so keep an eye out for that. And what we'll do is we'll come right down in here. And right here will be where the actual capture point for the base is. This is also a capture point in Conquest. This is probably the capture point that's the farthest away in Conquest mode, and a lot of players say to leave it. I think that's a bad idea. If you're in a light mech, run out here real quick by yourself. If you encounter enemies, just run away. If you don't, you capture this. At the end of the match, it's really hard for the enemy team to get back up here and capture or neutralize this point if you're winning on points. So it can make a difference in Conquest, but there's that capture point here. And then what we'll do is we'll run up on this hill here, and that's what it's called in solo play. Everybody wants to take the hill. If you're playing either assault or skirmish mode, 9 times out of 10, the entire match is king of the hill for this location. So we'll run up there. So this H10, H9 area is where you'll see most of your combat. Now, I find this extremely disappointing. This is probably a very, in my opinion, it's a very poor location to fight from. A lot of people are like, oh, you got to take the hill, and if you don't take the hill, you'll lose. And that's really a mindset of the players, because that's what everybody thinks that they have to do. Everybody does it. So yes, it does win or lose the match based on that. But there are a ton of other places to go that provide better cover and more strategic location. As you can tell, once I get up here, this area has a little bit of cover from down in the H9, H8 area, and you can fire into that. So if they're charging up here, they're quite in the open. But generally, what happens is the more aggressive team wins this, because I've seen it where one team generally starts out through the location in the on the J line, generally some starting points throughout here, and then the other locations are way on the other side of the map there, and then everybody charges here. Whoever gets here first takes the top of the hill, and then everybody else tries to charge up, and whoever has control of the top is generally the winner. But a very aggressive team, and I've seen this a lot, comes up straight through here and starts firing at the team that's trying to dig in up here. They get a little bit worried about taking fire, and they come over into this area behind like this hill. So you can see I've got some cover throughout this area here from anything that's over here, but unfortunately there's really no room to move at this point. So they'll just eventually grind you against the cliff here, and some X will drop down and they get picked off. But this, unfortunately, is the main area of the map right now that everybody fights over. As I said, there's a lot better areas that I would prefer to fight over. And you can be very successful if you do anything else. I've actually had teams come up. If you can see in J10 there's a road. And it's marked on the mini-map. And I'm going to fall. I forgot I don't have jump jets in my commando. But this road starts at the base here and then runs all the way along to the other starting position. This gets called Victory Road sometimes, because if you follow this road and push up into this base, or the other base, and I'll show you where that is, it's way over here, the other team is up on this hill and they don't want to come down. So strategically, this is a horrible idea. I'm running through a narrow canyon with the defenders up on a hill, but because I've done something that's so different and breaks the way you're supposed to play the map, that people don't know what to do. They'll come dropping down one or two at a time, and it's easy for a large group to pick off lone mechs like that. Or they'll just stay up there and you can take the base without very much resistance. Sure, you'll get some LRMs and whatever, but if you have ECM and you get in that base, blow up the turrets, you can cap the base pretty easily. And occasionally you will see some fighting down here because people jumped off because they're worried about taking fire, or the other team has gotten so aggressive it's forced the MX off the hill. So you'll see occasional fighting down in here, but that's pretty rare. So let's follow Victory Road a little bit and see some of the other things that are important on this map. If you come over this little rise here, out in this general flat area here, and without the point actually being here, it'll be a little bit hard to show you the exact location, but right about here is one of the capture points if you're playing Conquest mode. So that becomes important. And this map changes significantly when you're playing Conquest mode. As I stated earlier, when you're playing Assault and Skirmish, everybody fights over this hill. Now most of the capture points are in this area. So we'll run just a little bit more. And then in between these two little hills here, right about here, is another capture point. So this area becomes important because of that capture point. And then if we run along the side here, we'll come up to another capture point. And the other capture point is right around in this area. I believe it's right about here. So here's another capture point. So this area becomes fought over. A lot of people use these two hills for cover and fight from those locations. And then what we'll do is we'll go to the last capture point, which is also a base in Assault mode. So if we just go over this little hill again, and you can see there's another little facility here, and that will contain the base. So right on the center of this platform is another capture point or a base. So you'll see this area sometimes as people try to take the base at the end of a match, or it's capture points when people are fighting over it. Now, as I stated earlier, that gamma point is way over there, so if you have that and most of the fighting is occurring in this area, and you've taken that base uncontested, it really lets you get up on points if you take 2 in here, and then they have the other 2. Well, you still got 3 bases, so you're up on points there. And if the game starts going south for you and you're about to win on points, it's really hard for them to get all the way over there and neutralize it before you win on points. So keep that in mind. A lot of people don't like to get gamma, but can be very strategically advantageous to do so. So, and as I've been saying, you'll see turrets in here on the assault mode, and some of them will be on top of various buildings or little hills here. So that's been a look at these areas that are really important solo play, and generally what people do. Now, as I said, there's lots of better places to go to fight. If you're on a team and you have slower mechs, it might behoove you to stay in your base, because I guarantee you the other team will get bored and come get you before the end of the match. They'll come down off this hill that's all the way over here and try to fight you down here. And then another area that was important when this map first came out, and I don't know why people moved away from using this area, but I really think it's a good spot, is if we head back towards the other base, there's a location that is referred to as the tower. There's a hill way back there. You can see that big tower. That's the tower everybody's talking about. So if you hear they're going tower, they're going here. But rather than charge up the hill there in that nice wide open area, sometimes, and this used to occur quite a bit more when this map first came out, and I don't know why it changed, but I think it's a way better idea, is to go to the tower and fight from there. There's also this hill here, which is great to get some cover and fire LRMs or do some sniping from. But if we get up over here to the tower, if you're facing the enemy that's over here, you actually have much better cover than charging the hill. So we'll get up here and we will see that I have pretty good cover. You can come up real quick and fire into this area. You can get all the way up top on this point. You can actually fire at the base that's down there and take out the turrets at long range. So as you can see, I can look into that base pretty good and hit some turrets or hit some defenders. Now, occasionally you will see a team go to the tower, and then the area used in the fight changes quite a bit. So you'll see the fighting through here and then on the back side of the hill. There's this little power transformer, I guess. Nope, it looks like a tank. Haven't ever taken a close look at him. Yep, he's a crawler with some... oh, it's a mech crawler. I'm usually hiding behind it, dodging PPC, so I'm not haven't taken a close look at it. But yep, it's a mech crawler. But you'll see the fighting occur in this area as the team that's come to the tower tries to push into this base. And you can see there's still some really good cover once you get into this flatter area by this hill, and then you'll see fighting over this hill. And this is uncommon, but not unheard of. You will see teams go to the tower occasionally and try to fight from there. I think it's a way better idea than charging up and playing King of the Hill. I think that's just a silly thing that is what the community has decided they want to do with this map. But as you can tell, this map is huge, and there's lots of good places to fight from. And if you're, especially if you're playing skirmish when there's no base to defend, pick your spot. That can be hugely advantageous because people get into routines. If you break those routines, they get uncomfortable. I have won matches by fighting in particularly odd spots. You know, they provide good location. Sometimes we'll go out to where the starting area is, because there's hills and stuff around there for cover, and fight from there. If you can get your whole team to do that, the enemy team will become confused and uncomfortable. This isn't normal, what are we doing, guys? And they'll generally make some mistakes because it's new and uncomfortable. But that's been a look at the areas that are generally important in pug play and some of the names that are used to identify them. I'll run down here into this flat so you can see the hill from the bottom here. But I hope this is giving you some information about how this map is used in solo play. as I said, there are huge possibilities because this map is so large to fight in areas that are good to fight from. So down here, there's just a little facility again. Look up into the tower. You can get under here, get some cover from LRMs if you need, if you're small enough. But that, again, has been a look at this map and how it's used. There's not a lot to say about it because really, if it's an assault or skirmish match, everybody's right here fighting over this hill. And if it's conquest, they generally stay in that center area, so we'll go overlook it here from this hill. But they generally stay on this hill and on this hill and take shots at each other. Let's run down to J7 real quick. I will show you that. I've had really good success on skirmish mode by getting my team to come down to the J6, J7 area. Well, actually, probably a little bit farther than that. But there's this other set of hills right here. Oh, it looks like K6 is where I want to be. So if we get into that K6 area, you've got hills again for some pretty good cover. If you're playing Conquest, you're still close to the bases. And really good cover through here. You will see fighting here occasionally because some people are of the same mindset that I am, that let's go do something different to maybe confuse them a little bit. But yeah, some good cover back through here. And then again, another hill over here. So there's actually a lot of good places to come fight in this map. They're just not used. Again, if you can convince your team to do something that's not quite normal or the right way to play the map, I really love that one. You're playing the map wrong. There's some good spots to come get some cover and fight from that people may not be used to fighting in, so that may get you an advantage if you become used to using these areas to your advantage. Well, I hope this video has shown you some things you didn't know about the map and how it's used in solo play. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please subscribe to my channel. Have great luck on the battlefield, and I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching.